it's
For Delta, that he's retired.
Oh boy. And I had all boys. I had 4 boys, and this is a daughter, granddaughter.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
She's beautiful.
Thank you. She's 3 months, like as
Aw,
of 2 days ago.
she's loving life.
Yeah.
That's
so
wonderful.
She's a chunky monkey.
That's good.
Chunky, like little rolls everywhere. So Donna, you're back to work. The students are here and there we go again.
Yep. I like my nephew.
Good.
And the one where I have questions about are graduating this year. So,
Oh.
Bye.
so it'll be fine. They're just tired.
Yeah.
It's an intense 3-year program. And they're in the 3rd year and they would like to be done. They had a hard time too because they've had 3 of their age for various reasons. And that always changes the dynamics of things.
There's somebody that's playing that she knows.
An intern program
I
at
don't
Chico
know.
State, and
It sounds
one of the
really close.
professors was
Okay.
doing
Yeah.
research using the report. I think that's saying right, which is a personality test, and
Great.
it was really fascinating. Sorry, I'm gonna tell you about it. It was, but
Is Ryan gonna make it?
one of the groups.
When I talked
you know,
to
when you just
Earlier,
capture
he
the
said he would see me tonight, so I'm gonna assume.
Can you go ahead and write on it? 'Cause I know
We'll wait a
that's
little bit
what I'm
now.
like, oh, no, no, I've seen your writing, it's wonderful. So anyway, each of
Good Ryan.
one of the groups. that-
My notes were just last night and
What?
all of them right on cue.
Oh.
We're like, where's mine? He's nothing.
There wasn't a lot of like, it was a lot, there was a lot of notes, but it wasn't.
Things were
Yeah,
just
I know,
like-
I know. Yeah, I can remember most of what I was impressed with Saturday. You guys both did it last night?
And I had it all, I had a calendar, you know what I mean, and backward planning, like, this is reason I this is something, this is due here. But it was just weird, and then one of the things is that people tend to switch programs.
I just printed them out, so
But
I didn't have a chance to.
I can be incredibly hungry.
Are we ready?
I only have so.
We're ready.
We're all here.
This crew.
Well, all that are.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Leanne's not coming.
Is she off now? She's off.
Yeah, yeah. But it was interesting how.
Kristen is not on. Cheryl, are you here in an official capacity that I don't know about?
No, I'm just here as a teacher.
Well, she's our teacher.
Oh, you're part of the board?
No, I'm the teacher liaison,
She's the
Like
one
what
that shows
if you
the front
think of-
pictures.
but I can't get on Zoom.
Oh.
But I can share my Zoom, my slide with somebody. Launch meeting not happening, and I have it in my calendar.
It's a bit nippy.
I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:03 on September 17th.
Lunar eclipse tonight.
Yeah. Let's have a roll call of the council members.
Right, Sanders is here.
Donna Kresge here.
Laurel Hill Ward here.
If you want to cut here,
Trisha Athayartua here.
all righty, we got 5. Good. Let's read the invocation together. Ready? This is our school. May peace dwell here. May the rooms be full of contentment. May love abide here. Love of one another, love of our school, love of life itself. Let us remember that as many hands build a house, so many hearts build a school. Thank you. Item 1.4, agenda modification. Anybody?
And that I have.
Did you have something, Trish?
No, none that I have. I said, sorry.
Nothing. Okay, all right, no agenda modifications. Do we have any audience to address the council?
Maggie
Yeah.
so rocked Zoom last night, and we were so good at it.
Yeah, it was a good deal last night.
Can I ask who's in charge of the
Maggie.
screen? Maggie is. Can I just share this with you, Maggie?
Her presentation.
Because I can't get in.
All right, moving on to this consent agenda.
This is Trisha. I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Laurel will second, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. Questions or comments?
A motion, sorry.
Me, Trisha.
Tricia.
Laurel second.
All right, gonna vote. Go Ryan.
Ryan, aye.
Donna, I.
Laurel, I.
Vicky, aye.
Trisha, I.
Okay. And to item 3, our faculty report. There's Cheryl.
She was sharing her presentation with Maggie. You're not the only one.
Yeah, I don't know if I
No?
can do that, Cheryl, because that's gonna require me to go into my email and public meeting right now.
Okay, so,
Should we,
Right.
should-
Let me see if I can send you.
Well, last week I shared it with Ryan.
I could,
I can get in too. You want me to get in since you're next to me? You can click through.
I mean, I have it up too, so I could like put it over there and they can look at it.
Well, like to have it on Zoom.
Have it on Zoom,
Okay, let me log into the meeting.
Because Ryan, you were leading the Zoom last time, and you were able to put it up pretty easily.
I can join our meeting.
Then you could just let them share it.
I'll raise
No,
you.
I mean,
Okay.
it just.
I don't have the link, so you
Same
might be
thing, so it's like-
entering the code.
Oh,
Get it done.
And that's what I'm doing.
And try not to give you stuff.
I didn't see
Yeah.
much about your.
I got it like 2 days
You look younger.
ago. I'll take that.
It's shorter this time.
I'm about to join.
Oh, me too, Ryan.
I'm typing the code.
I'm already asked for permission.
Oh my gosh.
Did you
Wins.
share it with me?
I did.
Do we have any audience at all?
Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, hi, Mitchell.
Oh, I gotta get into my, you shared it on my blue email. I love having so many emails. So fantastic. Okay. Okay. Now, share my screen. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that one right there.
Bravo.
Okay, let me put these away, let me put this away.
It is September.
Do you want it on presentation mode?
Sure.
So the Dragon Time, those are Michaelmas asters. Open this time of year. It's almost autumn time and time to call forth our courage against challenges we face as well as our own inner struggles. We're experiencing this implicitly in the kindergarten classroom with a story of a brave herder who must overcome many obstacles to slay the 12-headed dragon. Of course, we always have helpers nearby. In the story, it's a bull, a magical bull, who helps overcome obstacles. And I said that help comes in many forms. A few may be kind friends, supportive family, wholesome food, and artistic practices. So on Mondays, we paint in the kindergarten, and now we've met all 3 colors in the kindergarten. Grade 1 with Mrs. Hunter. First grade is enjoying Ms. Hunter. First grade is enjoying their letters. We've discussed M, short A, S, T, P, and N. Our daily work in main lesson books and painting on Tuesdays have been bringing great joy. In 3rd grade, we began working in the garden. The students have loved clearing the beds, mixing soil, and planting lettuce and broccoli. Can't wait to see what develops, and we're glad to be able to contribute to the beauty of our school. Grade 3 is Mr. Meyer. 4th grade was busy. Reading the novel, The Iron Dragon Never Sleeps in ELA, which is about a girl from Old Sacramento whose father is a miner and the Chinese immigrant railway workers she befriends on the frontier. We visited the California Railroad Museum, I think that was on Friday, and enjoyed
That's so
caramel
cool.
apples.
It's a really nice place.
Yeah.
Oh, good. The children panned for gold. They explored tools in a replica hardware store and enjoyed history brought to life on the wooden plank pathways. Victorian architecture and marvelous trains. The trains are so grand in real life and really do feel like dragons on the earth. I don't know. Is that
A video. Running
little
around.
children running?
Yeah, that's Center Fort Park.
Sutter?
The
Center's
park,
Fort?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Center Fort
I
Park.
thought it was.
I think
I thought
that's
it Gosh, I did all those state things so long ago.
This is grade 7, that's Meadow. They're doing geology and playing with physics. And 8th grade is studying anatomy. We start this block studying bones.
Wow,
Very nice drawings.
look at that drawing.
Let's see.
Yeah.
The lower grades handwork with Miss Claire. 3rd grade is doing incredibly well with their weaving projects, and handwork club is going very well. Lots of beading and free choice projects. Most students in 1st grade have finished their knitting needles and are starting to knit. I've been trying to recruit parent helpers and upper grade students to help us get started. To help get us started, but it's been challenging to get the help we need. And this is intervention and accelerated math and LPAC with Miss Segovia, Abigail Segovia. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice. All right, thank you for coming, Cheryl. Moving on to item 4, business. We've got 4.1 school enrollment with Susan Dominican.
Yeah, so we still have students trickling in. We have 2 new ones come in today, or a balance of 2 new ones come in today, so, and one more, no, yesterday, today's Tuesday. And we're still having applications, so we're running about 219 right now. And as I said, that continues to fluctuate a little bit through September.
219.
219. is
What
where
did
we are
we
as of
end
today.
last year? Do you remember something?
I do not know.
It was like 223. I don't know why.
It was 220s, yeah.
223.
So that's where we are.
Do we know what the net, like, new students in loss was?
Not off the top of my head.
Is that something that we
We
could
can certainly
see?
get for you.
I'm more just because enrollment's such a hot thing for us, right? That's how we get our money. More looking at, like, what are the reasons why? And I know you guys ask that and you send those surveys out, but if maybe we need to start compiling that data so we can see where maybe we can focus. So as we're getting new, we're not losing, if at all possible. So we actually go up in that
What
state.
data are you talking about?
Like what's when families leave and
Do they
what,
complete a survey?
there's a survey
Oh,
sent to them
okay.
and they say why they've left if they complete it. And I just think seeing that would be valuable. As we're not talking about 50, right? So it would be easy enough to
Just check it out.
every month just see whatever those few are.
So every month going forward, you want to see the data for the survey results of those who left for the prior month.
Yeah, I think it would be really useful, or even if there's a way to look at students that left at the end of last year or last year, so if we can see if there's any common thread there and work on that.
So my offer to you would be when at the end of those who, because what I'm the most interested in is those who say they're coming back and then don't. So
I missed
that's-
that. The
It's those who register to return, so they have a spot here and then they move somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's, that's a
That's
change in
information.
intention, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's easier than like before that, so that starts getting into next year.
So you're
that's-
saying like when they, like that date, because I think it's just as valuable when families leave middle of year
Yeah.
to see why they've left. I think sometimes when people say, yes, we're coming and then they don't, is they haven't figured out what they're doing, but they don't want to lose a spot here.
That's often the reason.
Yeah,
But there are other reasons too. So
Sure.
I'm just not sure how far back we can go
Yeah.
realistically to
but I think even if we just look at the end of last year, like families that left, if there's, like, I don't know if there's more, I'm gonna guess, more that left at the end of the year that didn't come back this year, like there should be a chunk, even if it was just that data, and then moving forward, we're looking at families that left, and you guys chime in whatever you guys feel.
I wonder too, if in addition to like the survey, if some might be comfortable or it'd be reasonable to ask them if they would be okay with being interviewed. you know.
So what we have set up right now is the survey goes out and then Karen is taking on the job of calling those. Either whether they
Answer or
answer or
respond.
not, whether they fill out the survey or not, and just say, hey, we're looking at
It's
this.
between me and Kelly Mackey.
So.
So you are making contact.
Yeah, so
And
if
you-
anybody, well, obviously if there's a survey that comes in and it's a red flag response, right? Something that's like, oh, this is an immediate issue, why wasn't, we need to be following up on this, then that gets brought to leadership right away. And or myself or Susan will be contacting those families. But Kelly Mackey is in charge of anybody that's exiting, that's 3 years or newer, that have been here for 3 years or less.
Okay.
She sends the survey out to them and follows up with them, and or Susan if need be. If it's 5 years or greater, that's me.
Okay.
But at any point, I also get delegated the task to say, hey, this is a red flag, this is a need from the family, I'm concerned, can you please follow up? And I do, and I document.
Yeah, and just the pragmatic aspect is kids equal funding for the school,
I get
so.
it.
I mean, for lots of reasons,
And
it's
it tells
critical
us
data.
what we can improve on, so
Yeah,
that's why the data is so important to me in my role, and obviously when I share out with the community, but and the board. But as far as your request to see if there would be anybody interested coming and being interviewed by the board or by us.
I would think it'd be more of a personal
Karen, you
thing.
probably handle it very well.
Like
Yeah,
a lot,
I
you're
would
thinking.
guess.
Well, I
one
just
on
wanna
one.
make sure
Yeah.
that I'm clear on
No,
what you guys
I
are
think, I wouldn't say it'd be facing a board, but
Okay, I just
You
didn't know,
know,
because I'm
yeah,
all
no,
about giving
thank you.
voice to people,
Thank you
bring
for
in your voice,
clarifying.
come get heard, but so, just
Yeah.
to make sure I'm understanding correctly.
Where does that information go?
We store it in a database, this is Google Forms, like shared drive
Right,
that
right.
we have. And then what if I'm sharing it out to our advisory committee, for instance, I'm gonna block out any redacted names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in fact, one of the things I just learned in today's training was that there's AI now, because there's a lot of experiential data, so it's hard to analyze that or categorize, right? Like I can categorize unhappy parent, unhappy student, or moved, or whatever it could be, right? But there's AI now that goes in, collects the data for me, and can analyze it and give us like the overall percentages or high view that you guys are probably looking for. So I'm gonna tap into that and see what we can.
So are we asking for this information?
Well, I guess
or
I
not?
mean, what does the board feel? I would like to ask for that, but I mean, where does the rest
I
of
think
the
it's a
board
good idea, and
members-
especially as we go forward into building a new school, you really hope that enrollment stays
Yeah,
robust.
consistent and growth.
So, just for sake of management, it seems like knowing the reasons is not gonna be helpful month to month. Because I don't think there's that high of a turnover. But watching for trends across a semester.
Yeah.
And so look at the end of the semester when you've maybe got several data points.
I would say
Okay.
as long as we get it at the end of the semester like that. So my only thing is if we're giving it every month, then it's compiled, right? And then we can look at it, we can compare it month to month. Versus if we wait for 6 months, then,
We can't do anything about it.
well, no, I think you're right. We can't make a decision
Right,
one
so
month from the next, right?
if we have 2 students who leave
Yeah.
every month, we can't,
There's not really a lot it's gonna tell you.
but at the end of 6 months.
Yeah.
We might begin to see a pattern.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe,
what we need is the pattern.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. That's why it's like if we could see the end of the school year, if there was people that left, what the reasons, and then,
June, July, August, or?
Yeah, however.
Okay.
I don't know if they come in throughout the months.
Ended school.
June.
June, first week of June.
So,
Yeah.
May, okay, got you.
I don't think we need to go, I mean, I would love to see the data for all of last year, compiled like that, like, here's the data for the last school year, but that might be a big ask. So I'm just saying, moving forward, if we start a system of compiling it. My concern with waiting for 6 months, I agree, you're not gonna be able to do a whole lot, you're not gonna see a trend.
Right.
Is if we wait for 6 months, then are we going to be missing some of the stuff we should have been doing if we don't start? figuring out what we want to
Well,
know.
that would be
Kind of a
good.
logical.
But they're already flagging things that are of
Yes,
concern
I was gonna say.
and handling that immediately.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably pretty safe waiting for.
I would say a logical time to look at exits and move-ins is when they typically do it. So if it's usually at the end of the school year or the end of a semester, that's a good time to look at it.
So can we look
The
at stuff from the
actual
end of the
reporting.
school year and then look at it again right at break time?
I'm happy to do whatever we need, just know that, all day, every day, part of my job description and expectation is that I'm identifying trends and patterns. So,
To a kind
Which
of
is
makes
perfect,
sense.
and I just want that,
Yeah,
you to
yeah.
share with us what those trends and patterns are.
and I'm happy to be as transparent as possible while providing confidentiality aspect.
Sure.
Families, but, yeah, so the last 3 months of last year, you want me to compile the data and share when? The next meeting?
If that's doable.
Okay, I'll.
What do you think?
Can I ask a few more questions?
Sure.
How long have we been collecting this? It's been way more than 3 months, right?
The school's been collecting exit surveys for, I think, a year.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think, I know for a fact Kelly's been doing it since last year.
No, I started them in 23, end of 23.
Yeah.
Or beginning of
Yeah,
23.
so last year.
24, yeah.
And it's all on that one spreadsheet.
She
It's probably
has,
on two spreadsheets.
yeah, 2 spreadsheets.
Because we have the
3-year and
5
5-year.
and we have there's 2 separate
Mm.
things that go out, so it's probably 2 spreadsheets.
So it's feasible to look at all last year then.
It sounds like it would be pretty easy to just look at all
I
of
haven't
it.
seen that, because this is, having me do unless it's an immediate need, having me run my own section of it, the greater than 5 years, for exits of students who've been leaving, who've been here for greater than 5 years. That's a new task, right, delegated to
Right.
me. So I requested the reports, and that was just, I think, earlier was it Monday? It was on Monday, so yesterday, oh my gosh, I worked on Sunday too, so so that's something that's coming.
Okay.
But I can look at the data, I can see what, and bring what we have for sure. I'm happy to share anything that you guys have.
That'd be great.
Why don't we ask for December and then again May?
Well, if she's saying she has all of last year, then I
I
think.
don't, but the
But
school, yeah, I
we
requested.
think we've been collecting that data, so I would request we look at all of last year as a lump.
I want you to understand that we sent them out, we didn't necessarily get.
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
So there may not be many.
Yeah.
And also we didn't have a really follow-up unless it
Process.
was like, something that was so significant, I
Yeah.
felt like I needed to make a call. So, so you're not gonna get a lot of data for
Yeah.
all last year. The other piece that we need to be aware of is that 11 number, which is anytime you have less than 11, it's not public data. So we might not get 11 leaving in 1 month. That would be nice if we didn't. So we'll have to consider that as well as far as what we will report out to the board.
How about,
So then can we
I
get
still
that?
think, quarterly or semi-annually
Yeah.
is fine.
That could be done in a closed session though, right? Like, that's not really a barrier.
No,
So I'm not
No
understanding,
I don't think I can do it in a closed session.
Like it doesn't follow
It
under,
doesn't follow one of the Brown Act. I would have to think about
there's
it.
only certain things that can be in closed session, but if you would think it was
Student
confidentiality.
isn't one of those things.
Well, why, but the student, if it's discipline, yes.
Yeah.
But if the others are like, do we have a lawsuit? Do we have an employee review? Do we, those are like really clear. And I'm not sure that discussing student data is.
I don't
Beneficial
feel
on
that
a
it needs to
fit,
be
yeah.
monthly, right? Like, I don't feel it needs to be monthly as long as we're getting it quarterly or whatever. I think whatever data we do have from last year, I would like to put that together, and I get that we didn't have the follow-up process, so we may not have as
Yeah,
high
we
of
don't
a
have very much. That's what I'm
return.
implementing the process this
Yeah.
year, so that you'll have
so
the
this will
data.
be,
I'm not sure you're gonna have great data for last year. That's
Yeah.
what I was assigned to Karen just last week.
Yeah,
But it's
so we'll
much
see what there
more
is.
important.
So the exits
Reasons.
go out every week, I get informed who's enrolling, who's exiting. And anybody that is greater than 5 years is highlighted so that I know that's code for me.
Yeah.
Follow up with this family. I send the survey out, and if I don't hear back from the family within like three to 5 days, then I'm gonna call.
Mhm.
If I get the survey back and I see that there's an issue, I'm gonna bring it to leadership.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm just compiling the data.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then are we deciding on it every 6 months or what?
My request is to see last year's data.
Gotcha, I
So-
got that.
So that's my request if, anybody wants to support that request.
I do support that request.
Okay,
and then-
Is it feasible for you to do that at next month's meeting? Is that?
I did request that data, so
Okay.
however long Kelly is, she's got a full load, just remember that we're,
That's the whole other issue, is you guys don't need any more work.
it's stacked. There's a lot, we're doing many
Many
roles.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to do, I'm here at this time of night, and I've been working all day. I'm happy to do whatever you guys need me to do.
Okay, let's
I'm
put
dedicated.
that, agendize that for next.
And then moving forward, we'll look at, right, so we don't, I think having one,
I'm not asking anyone to do it. I'm just wondering if there are the same kind of questions that go out when folks enroll.
like why they're,
What drew
We
you
do
to us?
actually have why you
Is it
are
like,
choosing below.
is there
Yeah, the
data?
numbers are one thing.
I did not know that that's been entered into the spreadsheet. It's
Okay.
done on
That's
the-
a good,
it's not written
app.
form.
Yeah.
The interest form can say friend or colleague or like
The
there's a-
referral.
Yeah, there's that.
There's also data that goes directly into Aries from enrollment. So those reports that come out of Aries come through BCOE, so those do take more time too. Kelly Mackey's able to run certain reports, but not all of them, so we do have to have assistance sometimes. So that could also, just wanna keep that in mind for going forward. There's a lot of data that we collect.
I don't know if it's inappropriate to ask, but when there's attrition, I'd be curious where they go, because I know, gosh, what is it, Butte Core, it's on that beautiful campus, and, it'd be interesting if it's not inappropriate to know, where do these kids go? What's the draw in another direction, or is it kind of randomized?
And that's the stuff we can definitely review when we do the exit surveys, like when you're looking at it.
We know where they go, because we know where it's sent a Q file, it's
Yeah.
not necessarily.
Because if it's just they want to be in a school closer to home, that's one thing, or on a bus line or whatever, but it's, if there's one school that is drawing significant numbers of students away, it'd be interesting to look at what we could.
Oh, yeah, and
Do with that
everybody's fighting for every student right now. Like, everybody's got a shortage in students.
Yeah.
I just learned
Even
more.
Butte Court,
Yeah, everywhere.
wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
But with that being said, that's not so specifically on our survey, that would be another report that we
It would
pull
be
from
another report
Aries.
that we
Showing where
Yeah.
the student went.
Yeah, I didn't even know if it'd be available.
Yeah. I do think Cheryl's input as to why they choose here is equally as important as why they leave.
definitely.
It was so heartening. I had that question for the families at our first class meeting, and just, thinking why they're here really is.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Thank you.
Excellent. So we'll talk to you next month.
Yes.
All righty.
Thank you.
And
Well, I have to apologize, because until I looked at this is something I was supposed to do today, and I didn't do. We need a new freezer, and I'm putting in a
What about
request to
Measure K? You're putting in for Measure K?
Yeah, I'm going to, it's about $4,000 to $5,000. And so it's
Four to five.
$4,000 to $5,000 in that area.
is that?
So I'm preparing a request, and I did not get that done today, so I apologize to you.
So we'll vote on that next
Next
month.
Um,
We could vote on it and just give you the.
There are grants
Well, you probably
sometimes for
shouldn't
kitchen, there are grants for kitchen
Mhm.
equipment sometimes, I know.
And we've looked into that. That was another thing that was on Karen's list. We haven't had a chance to talk to it.
And there's a gentleman locally who works with the food banks and farmers market, and he gave me some leads too for grants or parts even for a freezer, but it looks like it's best to just buy a new teacher.
Sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm still looking into that, if I can follow up with that next meeting as well, or, yeah, if we're gonna do it.
And just because we do Measure K doesn't mean we have to spend the money, it's just saying we'll set that amount aside. So if we are able to get a grant in the meantime, we just don't have to. It just goes right back into our pot, so it's just a matter, it's about a month to do the Measure K process, and I am concerned how long our current freeze will last. So it's surviving.
Can we purchase it and then reimburse?
No.
For Measure K, it's gotta come from us, okay.
They have to buy it for us.
Well, when we get to, my facilities, I'm gonna request a special meeting so you can put it on there.
Okay.
Okay. Measure K request for freezer money, good. And that finishes business. And item 5, governance, finance committee report. Ryan.
All right. I had my first finance committee meeting 2 weeks ago.
Thrilling.
Yeah, it was. There were many topics. I think the big topic of the meeting was enrollment. At that time, enrollment was at 215, which Susan, we had talked about maybe you would have different numbers. Are there different numbers today?
219.
Well, it's 219, but sorry, there were also some very odd budgetary line items.
Oh, yes, we do. So there was an extra 89,000 over in, the, teacher salary. I have not hired a new teacher at that rate, additional to everything else. So we did, Annie and I went through the budget. So that item, there was a problem. When they do the budget, they say, "Here, this is how much you're likely to spend each month." So they had the same amount in May as they had in July. And because we're a 10-month contract, that goes down significantly. So she made those adjustments for the May, and so that took that away, and now we're at 20,000 under budget.
Oh, cool.
So that was good.
With the current enrollment?
No, this is the budget for last year. It's just
Oh, got it,
comparing
for
the
last year.
budget to
Okay,
that.
got it.
I also looked at, because materials and supplies seem really, really high to me.
Yeah.
And that's because of the food program. So 70,000, it's 160,000 or something in that budget, at least 70,000 is the food program. So of course that's covered in revenue.
Yeah.
And it's likely to go up, both revenue and expense this year, because a higher percentage of children are eating the, so yeah, we're feeding more kids
So
this
there's
year, so that's
Not
probably
an additional line item for the food service as an expense, it's in material?
It is in the detail budget
Got it.
that you looked at.
So
but
the
what
roll-up
she-
budget,
What
okay.
she showed us was like here's
Summary
how
of all
much,
of them.
the summary, and so the summary was really high.
Got
So when you roll it out, it does show that, and that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
So,
So the enrollment at 215, which now I know it's 219, that's predicted just shy of 300,000 deficit.
with the adjustment for the payroll, and we did a few other adjustments too in it to make sure we were within budget, or reasonable budget. We're about 200,000, a little like
Okay, so
207 or
negative
something
200.
like that.
Okay. So I think that's the big message for the board to hear is, yes, we're at negative 200 right now.
Yeah.
And that's solely based on the change in enrollment, which wasn't that
Yes, as
big of
well.
a change though.
Yeah, but every kid's worth a lot.
Yeah.
And there are some slightly higher costs per student as well, like
Okay.
unexpected, although maybe that has changed as well, but it's mostly due to enrollment. One question that I have, maybe you know off the top of your head, year over year, do we see years that, is it always that we start high and then slowly slide down? Is there a trend from where we start enrollment wise? We always start a little high and end a little lower than that. Like, what can we expect to happen to this enrollment?
I feel like that has been the trend for the
Well,
last
that's
3 or
5
4
years.
years.
Okay. So we probably need to take some action now, so we don't have a fun meeting like we had last year. That's the big message I want the board to hear, is that we have a looming deficit again, and it's probably not gonna go away. So I don't know if we wanna have a conversation on that now or later or whatever. Last little piece that happened, Michelle Green, we got a parent elected, sworn in, appointed. Yeah, we got another parent on there, so we have.
In the finance.
Yes, on finance, so we have some more,
That's great.
some more participation there. Those are the biggies from.
All right. So could we say we would like Annie and Susan to look at the budget for any possible cuts we can make, looking at going in through a deficit as we're at the beginning of the year? I mean, what do we think, would that be appropriate at this time?
Wouldn't they do that anyway?
Well, I don't know, I just wanna
We
make sure,
need to
I just
ask
wanna make sure we're
sure.
saying it and not assuming that's good.
Okay, good, yeah.
And I feel like we need to target an enrollment number of like 210. So, we know it's gonna slide, so let's plan for it to slide, I feel like.
I would have to go back and look at that. You're saying it's sliding
Okay.
during the year, because my sense is it generally stays, like if we hit 220, it'll probably stay around 220, go like 217, 218. It's probably going to stay pretty close to that. So I'd have to question that myself, because that's not my intuition experience that it's been going down as we close classes and so on. It has been going down annually. But during the year, I'm not sure. I would have to check that.
But that's pretty knowable, right? That'd be a quick.
Yeah, oh yeah, it'll be a matter of
Okay.
looking at some reports.
So would it be
But I think-
appropriate for Annie to come and present to the board budgets, like after you guys have a chance to look at it and what possible things are, just because she's the one that seems to know it inside and out? I know she does it in finance, but I feel like having somebody that is really knowledgeable to present it to us would be helpful.
Yeah, I kind of asked her, so Annie, are you gonna do something about this? And her answer was like, no, that's kind of your job.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to kick off whatever that is. And maybe all it
So
takes
that's
is,
kind of finance.
hey, Annie, make us a plan, and that's now it becomes her job.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's finance's job to look at what we can possibly cut or retool or reevaluate.
Well, and I think she meant you as in a school.
Oh,
Yeah,
got it.
so maybe it's just Susan, or I don't know. Yeah,
It will start with
With
an
fun-
and
Yeah, that's how we did the budget, so.
Yeah.
It's kind of for
Okay.
everybody to think creatively
Yeah.
and critically and.
What she's saying is she's not gonna say, here are the areas you could cut.
Totally.
She's gonna say, what do you think you could cut? And this is how much it would save you. That's her part, is the financial calculations. She's not gonna say,
My only,
I think you should cut this or that. She's not gonna do that.
my only suggestion is don't cut the amount of copies teachers are allowed to make anymore. So
is that becoming difficult?
I just have heard it a few times.
Oh, okay,
so-
okay.
So
It's just a cap, it's not set
I
yet.
know, it makes them very nervous.
However, I
See?
see.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know the cap.
You don't make photocopies,
I do,
not very many.
not as many.
Not for like in class, but for like homework.
That's why I haven't asked. Probably gonna be under the wire.
Yeah,
Maybe you can give them to somebody else, you can share it.
That's good bargaining.
Yeah, coffee on Fridays.
If there was one. it would be-
So is there something concrete that you need to ask
Ask
for
for?
our next meeting to?
I mean,
I don't think it's probably realistic to have an entirely new annual budget by next meeting, but
no, but
maybe
maybe
set
some
some parameters
ideas.
of we want to see a budget for this many students.
Yeah, some ideas of where we can cut to try to make up that difference. How does everybody else? I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking.
You
tonight,
are,
guys.
that's a good thing, thank
To
you.
look at the budget, and if we're likely to be in deficit, we need to.
Address it now and
Yes.
not wait till the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what you're saying.
good point.
I mean, only the federal government gets to spend
I
money they don't
know.
have.
Right, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so do you need any further direction from?
No, it's kind of, to me, generally October is the month where we do that,
Okay.
because that's when we have our numbers that go to the state and actually say this is the amount. There's some funding sources that'll say based on what you get that money. So those sort of things will be done by the time we meet, so that happens the first week in October.
Okay.
So,
Oh, and Tricia, that, I'm glad you said that. That's another reason why the ADA is so impactful is because some of the other funding sources are based on it.
Tied on it.
So it's
too.
not just
Yeah,
straight,
Yeah.
straight revenue, it's other stuff.
yeah, there's some that's actually on enrollment and some that's on ADA.
Yeah.
So the enrollment number kicks in October.
Yeah.
That's when they change their funding.
But most of it's more on ADA is
ADA is the big one.
big one, right?
But
Yeah.
there's lots
Yeah,
of that go
That's
on.
why we do
They
it.
count.
That's why we're boosting our attendance, and we did really good last year.
Sounds
So
like it.
we did it. So
Okay. Could you repeat to me what you asked for?
Kids,
I was asking for Susan and Annie to look at the budget to see where we can make some changes to lessen the gap of that $200,000 and bring it to us
And not
next meeting,
utilize
some
it.
ideas, some suggestions.
Okay.
For us to review.
So we're
All
gonna
right.
agendize a discussion on budget.
Yeah, yes. So I guess we need an agenda item for enrollment, which we already have for next meeting and budget
Under business.
under business.
Cool. That's all I had.
Thank you for having us clarify.
Yeah, I just
Warm up.
wanted to make sure I understood what we were doing here.
Yeah.
Okay. Good discussion. And parent council report, item 5.2.
Yeah,
Susan?
so that's me now. So they had their first official parent council meeting on the 10th of September. They reappointed Nicole Tonelli as the president. They are now looking for a co-chair and a treasurer, because the treasurer, he quit. So.
Oh, that's
Abandon them in their hour of
Abandoned
need.
them in their hour. They're running about 22,000 that is not allocated already, so they're feeling like they can do some things, so that's good. So it was pretty much an organizational meeting. We went through the bylaws, reviewed the bylaws with everybody, talked to the new members, set some about the festivals and set some committee chairs up for those festivals. I think they're still looking for somebody from Harvest Festival, because the crew there was like, they're not sure they know enough yet. So they're like, I think that I need to do a Harvest Festival first before I do something. So they're talking about setting the dates for Walk Into Winter. They have not completed that yet. And I believe we have two classes that have not, do not have a rep yet. It's, I believe, 5th grade and 6th grade, actually.
Oh.
Part of that is that Com's new and just getting into that.
Is this the first time you've been on the parent?
It's the first time I've reported on the parent council.
Are you going every month?
Oh, I always go every month, yeah.
She's been going, yeah. For the
Yeah,
last
for
few
several
years.
years, yeah.
We need somebody to represent the board on that. We don't have anybody.
Yeah. So-
Susan, did you say they need a chair, co-chair, and treasurer? No, they have a chair, they need a co-chair. and a-
Co-chair and treasurer, they have a chair and a secretary.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It was a long meeting
It was a long meeting.
because they were reviewing stuff like this.
Yeah, well, they went through the bylaws, they read the whole bylaws in the first meeting.
Oh.
It makes it a really long meeting, so.
Wow. That's good. And we've got facilities.
Okay, exciting stuff in facilities. Vicki joined us last night. So we've had a couple meetings. Facilities is meeting more than once a month right now because there's a lot to do. So we started with 7 architects that we had originally reached out to. We sent them kind of here's who we are, what we're looking for. Miss Jennifer did an amazing presentation. I did send it out to all of you guys, the link to view it. Yes, right? Everybody saw my email? Okay. It was amazing. So I would highly encourage you to do it or listen to it or watch it. So we sent that to the architects before they came to present to us last night. So they had an idea what Waldorf was. Not to say that we were going to have this beautiful Steiner school, but we wanted to give them an idea of who we are and what we're looking for. So we ended up with 3 that presented to us last night. So they came and presented, they did about a 15-minute presentation for us. And we like 2 of them, so we've narrowed it down to 2. Very different backgrounds, I would say, or styles. One did the Yuba River Charter School, very familiar with Waldorf, speaks the language, knows all about the festivals and the maypole. And then
You're talking about Mike.
I'm talking about Richard.
Richard?
With 450
Yeah.
architects, he's out of San Francisco. His kids attended a Waldorf
That's
school.
what I said.
Yeah. The other gentleman is Mike. He is with the HMC, which is the Honeybee Discovery Center that Laurel referred to.
Yeah.
Very well put together. Looks like a well-run firm, 350 employees, 100% employee owned. They've done a lot of schools.
His wife's a teacher.
His wife's a teacher, so also very well qualified. Very different. So we are going to, so what I emailed you today is, I don't know if we should have done a motion last night to say we want to recommend to the board that we have those 2 come, but that was the discussion and the agreement that we want those 2 architects to come and present to the board instead of giving them a 30-minute slot to come and present to facilities again and then present to the board twice per year. Let's just have them come present to the board, and if people from facilities can attend that meeting, then that's what we would do. So we would like to have a special meeting in a couple weeks with the board for them to come and present. They want to both come in person. And I've asked them to put together a 30-minute presentation. And then from that
30
meeting,
minutes each.
30 minutes each, from that meeting, we would decide and hire or decide to move forward with one of those architects. So
This is not an endorsement of HMC over the other, but they did a lot of pro bono work for us too. I mean, they got excited about what we were trying to do, and I just.
And he showed us some renderings of that last night.
Pardon?
He showed us some
Oh, he
renderings
did?
of it last
Okay,
night. It was
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Come to the Honeybee Discovery Center.
Yeah. So that is where we're at. So
I felt
Thank
like-
you for the work.
Yeah, I felt like
HMC, another one is for 450 architects.
That's
the biggest differences I saw in the 2 presentations or the 2 individuals was that Mike from HMC, they have a huge firm. He has a huge firm supporting him and supporting our project with all of the interior design,
Yeah, they
funding,
have a funding consultant, interior design, like they have all of that
the
in-house.
operations, what do you call it? Operational manager?
Like
No,
in-house. Oh, the project manager?
project manager. They cover all those extra peeps. They have them. It's gonna cost us more. And then Richard kind of hit our hearts as Waldorf peeps. But as Jennifer said, Mike from my opinion, Mike just presented more professional.
Yeah.
Not that Richard's not, he's wonderful. He's a really great guy. And you guys will love him too, but
Richard's just more of a storyteller, and Mike is more.
yeah, and Mike is on business. He
Yeah.
mentioned saving money at least 3 or 4 times, which we all love to hear. And
It'll be
whereas
interesting.
Richard said, "You've got my heart already. I
Yeah.
want to do this with you."
Yeah.
He was like,
They both followed up with an email to me today. We met with them
Good.
last night. That they were super excited about the
"Yeah, I
project.
saw
and-
the."
Be interesting to see.
So if we can look at a meeting date now, I would like to try to find a date to do a special meeting, if that's okay.
So do
What
you have
meeting?
their availability?
Also, let me see if they replied to me. I did ask them. It didn't seem like they had conflicts. It seemed like they were available. They were reaching out to their teams because they also would like a couple of their teams to come to present. Like Vicky said, HMC has a lot of in-house components. Richard with 450 Architects doesn't, but he has a lot of partners that he works with.
Yeah, and they are both. Yeah,
Andrew.
employee completely.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
both of them.
So they have not replied to me and told me, they both said 2 weeks was fine. They haven't heard back from their team. Yeah, but I say give me a couple dates, if we can pick a couple dates.
I'm checking a date here, but I might be hopeful they don't come in November.
No, so we are looking in 2 weeks, so like October
Oh.
3rd or 4th, or October like 7, 8, 9.
7th, 8th, and 9th, I'm gonna be in Vermont.
What about the 3rd or the 4th
That would work.
for you? What about everybody else?
I would
Yeah.
love for you to be here. I think.
I would like as many of us to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if we're
the
gonna
earlier-
vote for spending the others amount of money, I think we should all be here. Yeah,
What date are you
so we should all be here third or fourth.
Books.
Vote on it. On the day of the presentation. Wouldn't we let it sit for a minute, digest what they said for a few days before we
My
decide?
goal is to vote that night.
Is it? Okay.
So
That's
when
what I
are you
need to
thinking?
know.
October.
So Susan, Maggie,
There's
3rd
a
or the
sped
4th?
parent night at 5.
Oh,
I would really
But
like
it's at
if
5
we could do it
5 to 7, so I will need to be there.
when maybe
when is
we're
that, the
even
3rd?
all
Oh,
here
sorry,
together.
That's
The
Wednesday,
second.
Oh,
second.
so, okay,
Evenings
so the
are-
3rd or the 4th?
Yeah,
The
the
only
third,
time you're
after
school
6, because we have.
tour,
the
facilities is
during
at
the day.
I know, it's on the calendar, but I think that was based on their last year's.
Mondays and
meeting
Tuesdays
schedule
are
facilities.
Yeah, it's
that's
just
the
the
first
first
of
of
the
the
month
month.
when you do during business hours. But Wednesday,
We did
Thursday,
kind of set one, and I will
Friday,
send it in my
there's no
minutes from last night.
Yeah,
Wednesday
we-
is probably the easiest.
So I cannot do Wednesday the 2nd.
So the
It's my
3rd
birthday.
is Thursday.
Don't do it
Going
on
to a
your
concert.
The third is Thursday.
On your birthday.
But we all know we're free on Tuesdays, why aren't we doing Tuesday first?
Tuesday is a
It's
parent
parent
council
Tuesday's
meeting on
not good.
October 1st.
So Tuesday evening
just
would
do it
be
in a different
fine,
room.
but during the day,
Well-
I teach from 11 to
Yeah,
6.
Parents might want to.
Unless parents wanted to come, just because we have architects present.
So if
Oh,
we,
instead of parent council.
Yeah, I was just trying not to have it conflict with another meeting.
So we're talking about at 6 p.m.
Can they present to the parent council and the board crash that?
That could happen, yeah. That'd be
I
nice.
guess they probably have a festival to plan.
Yeah,
so you do not plan on a facilities meeting for the 3rd? We could replace it with a
Okay,
special meeting here,
correct.
or we could do a combined meeting, which we've done before.
That's kind of what our
Yeah,
goal
we-
is, to do a
Combined
facilities is just
Facilities
going
and
to
board.
attend the board meeting.
meeting. Okay, so
okay, when are you
Okay.
thinking?
The
The
third
of
or the
October.
3rd at 6, or the 4th, which is a Friday.
The 4th is a Friday, so it depends on how you guys want to.
And we're
October,
inviting them in the evening at 6 p.m.
October
yeah.
3rd works for me.
Okay, so October 3rd seems like,
Not morning though.
no, it will be at 6 p.m.
Okay, October 3rd, 6 p.m.
You can put your measure at Measure K.
And it's a special meeting, correct?
Special meeting, yeah.
Open.
Yeah, what else can we fit in there?
Okay, if for whatever reason,
Well, those guys are gonna be presenting for a half an hour
Yeah.
each.
it's gonna be,
Hour.
yeah.
That's gonna be most important too. We have some emergency things we can throw.
Is the 4th available as a second alternative just in case the 3rd does not work for them for whatever reason?
I'm sorry, was it
3rd
6?
preferable.
Yes,
It's my son's birthday on
they seem to open and I think they will make it work. I think that's it. I mean, there was a lot that happened, but anything I missed, Vicky?
I think you should all be sure to see Jennifer's presentation. Make sure you get that. And
And we're gonna, I think Maggie's
Also-
gonna post it to send up to share with the school, Jennifer said. Because it does really get you excited about Waldorf all over. again.
yeah, she's great. And okay, I forgot what I was saying.
That was my report for facility. So the only other thing I have is we had talked about doing a blessing of the land. Nobody has worked on that yet. We've been
No.
very focused on architects in facilities,
I'm
so,
still trying to get in touch with somebody.
yeah,
It's
So,
been the
The
beginning of the
children-
semester,
I
know.
nobody's.
yeah. So that's just as an update on that.
You mean tribal people?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
And chieftain people?
Yeah, I think, was there any specific Machupta, or you were just looking at?
I
any-
was starting at the university
Yeah,
because
to look
I
for
worked
somebody
there.
Right.
But I may
Do a
move
blessing.
on to tribal office to try and find
The
somebody
tribal
to talk
relations
to.
at the university?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where I would go.
Yeah, I've sent emails, I haven't gotten a response. The last one I sent was somebody I met with a student, so I've got more hope for that because there's a face and a name connection.
Mhm.
Okay,
But if not, I'll start branching out.
thank you.
Thank you for doing
It's been the beginning of the semester.
I
very
know.
busy.
Yeah,
Nobody's ready to, and, I don't think there's a timeline on it.
Yeah.
Whenever we're.
all righty. We are done with our facilities committee report. And I just have to say, I'm excited to talk about architects. It's really,
Yeah.
really good. When I started on that board, it was like the first night we were talking about buying land and looking at everything. So it's really nice to get to the point where we close escrow. All right, item 5.4.
Yeah, we did
community-
announce that, did we announce that we officially closed escrow? Probably.
Yeah, and last
Okay, we
month's
did,
meeting.
okay, I get lost on which meeting we did.
Yeah. It's your baby.
All right, community school partnership, Karen Lee.
Okay. Item number 1. So we had our first monthly regional committee meeting or coordinator huddle, I would say at BCOE. There was a couple, maybe 4 or 5 new faces, new schools getting the community school implementation grant. So not everybody's hired their coordinators thus far for all the other schools because they're still waiting on the GAM letters for notifying them that they have the funds allocated to their school from the state. But getting to meet a lot of new faces, welcoming newcomers to the community school initiative, which for our county, which is really fun. We did our first parent learning night on the 5th of September, which we had Catherine Lehman here from the Waldorf. She's our Waldorf school mentor from Sacramento, I believe. And I think we had a great turnout for parents. I think about 15 parents showed up, super engaged, lots of movement. Feedback was wonderful. I sent out post-event survey requests, and I only got 2 responses. So that's again one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow up on that because I'm curious. I want to know what the parents want us to bring to them. I want to know what they thought. What did we do well with that? And it was good. I feel like I co-facilitated that with Catherine that night. What do you think? I thought it was good.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was I thought it was a good event.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Trisha was here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be doing more of those, obviously. But yeah, you need to do your survey. Do your survey.
I don't remember getting it when you said that. I'm
Oh,
like,
I
I don't
sent it
remember getting a
via
survey.
I'll resend it.
Okay.
Sunday, the 15th, was KZFR's 20th annual Touch of Chico event. We had a booth there. I had 2 parent volunteers, 2 staff showed up to also help us out, and Miss Susan Minigini was there. That was a great event. We had a booth from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It started out with movement. All the vendors did somatic movement, which was awesome. And just getting us out there and like a holistic fair,
Right.
because our school embodies and
Those.
educates and nurtures the whole child.
Mhm.
Lots of new faces, lots of parents who children graduated from our school. So that was really cool to get us our name and just me personally out there. I had a QR code set up at our booth where community members that are not part of our school even, but on a broader scale, could take a survey by scanning the QR code. And so I'm collecting data on that as we speak. And, that will also be shared out at a future meeting if that's what we want. But yeah, and let's see what else. I get nervous at these things, you guys, sorry.
It's just us.
I know, what am I doing? Empowering our community resource fair. So that's amazing. I can't wait. On September 25th, I've been working hard on this event. We are hosting our first community resource fair. It's open to the public. So far, I've got about 20 nonprofit organizations coming to our school to showcase their free services to the community at large. And wait for it, instead of me going door to door to these agencies saying, hey, check us out, we're a part of a community school transformation, we want you to be a stakeholder in this work, come and join us. I can just do it all in one fell swoop with these vendors here. So I'm pretty excited about that. We've got Woodstock Pizza feeding families for free. So it's encouraging you to spread the word.
How are we getting the word out?
Well, word of mouth from me, because I just don't shut up about it. I've been posting flyers downtown and at the local co-op and like SNS Food, and Parent Square, Facebook, Instagram, email.
Are the vendors also, I'm guessing, promoting the event?
You know,
Because we're not expecting it just to be our school.
I
It's coming,
sent
it's
them the
public.
flyer with their logo and all that jazz on it, but what they do with it, I didn't ask that. That's a good point for me to do for next time.
Do we ever put signs out on the street?
Yes.
For-
When I say plastering downtown and.
You mean like
co-op,
No, I
yeah.
mean just right out here. Join us on September 25th for free resources, Chico's free
I
resources.
definitely can.
You know,
I don't know. I mean,
There's a lot of traffic that drives.
yes, you're right. You're right.
Put the big word free up there.
I can
Pay
dance
attention.
too with the sign, swirl my
Yeah.
sign out there. I would do it.
Okay.
It would require a pretty large sign.
I know,
To
yeah, I
be
know.
like readable.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, anywhere and anything and anywhere. So I'm asking families to put it on their social media. We have it on our social media. It's going out on a weekly basis, in the Acorn, our newsletter, right, as well as our social media blast. And I reached out to the Enterprise and Chico News and Review to see if we could get like a free publicity,
Right.
showcase of our upcoming event. But it's being talked about in the county, at the county office level too.
Okay.
So,
What about the radio? Will they
Yeah,
go?
what about KZFR and KCHO?
so I talked to Leah about that yesterday, or on Sunday, and
Yeah.
she told me to send her, whatever information I have on it, because I guess they have a publicity person that she's gonna put me in contact with. So I can look for that email coming tomorrow, but I haven't been able to follow up on that.
Yeah.
But I will have it on my list to do.
Okay, give me the date on that again.
9:25 from 5 to 7 p.m.
Oh, 25?
9:25, September 25th, from 5 to 7 p.m. here
Wednesday night.
in the great room.
From 5 to 7. It's on a Wednesday, right, Karen?
I don't have my calendar. in front
So
of
the
me.
25, whatever, yeah.
September
The
25th.
25th is a Wednesday.
Thank you.
Okay.
Advisory updates, the committee updates. So our school counselor unfortunately stepped down from our committee. So I have feelers out for 2 interested parties currently, one being the wife of our BCOE community partner. I asked that it be somebody in the mental health arena. So his wife is a psychiatrist, and so it's Mr. Philip James's wife. He's got a pending request out there, interest to see if she has any space or availability to be a community partner, as well as one of the partners on the committee, parent on the committee has connections with Chico Body Wise, who may also be interested in filling that slot. So I will report on that next month.
What is this?
Our advisory committee, Ashley Angel, our school counselor, stepped down due to school commitments. She's taking classes for her master's degree on top of working full-time, so she had to step down. The committee is going to Anaheim on October 24th and 25th. CEI is paying for that trip. We have our first virtual meeting with CEI on the 18th of this month. This is going to be showcasing and highlighting empowering students to have a voice, so getting them prepped for the work that we're doing this year. We have 3 students on the committee this year, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so that's really awesome. And we've also implemented the healthy play, and I've been doing some observations in the class. We have Susan, and from my observations, teachers are utilizing the healthy play curriculum at least one time per week, some of them daily. And that's doing active movement with the children of all the grades. And I attended the NorCal Anti-Racism Coalition meeting that was on the 10th, I believe, I put the date. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that coalition, but they've been around a year and they're making big strides in Butte County, especially at Chico Unified. So I'm really excited to be part of that committee, and I'll bring more information on that. I was just introduced to it last month, finally got to go into a meeting because it lands on the Tuesdays that we're always having one of these meetings or a parent council meeting, so it's gonna be a juggling act for me. We are doing, Miss Michelle Green, parent, suggested and asked if she could help start a costume exchange closet for the upcoming Halloween season. And we met on Monday, and we're really excited to say that we are going to go and move forward with that. So that will be for our community and not just the children of our school, but their siblings as well. For families to bring and donate used costumes, and we'll open up shop after they've been cleaned, obviously. Open up shop for families and students to see if there's any costumes that they would be needing for the Halloween season. And we're gonna run that shopping days from the 18th through the 23rd of October, and I believe from September 30th through 10/18 is when we'll be accepting those donations. And more to come on that, you'll see that all over Parent Square. That's gonna start going out this week, those notifications. Also, the Thanksgiving food drive we're actively starting that process too. So we're gonna be collecting food, non-perishable items. I will be connecting with community partners to see if we can get gift cards so that families can buy turkey or ham or whatever they need, but then we would be doing the non-perishable food drive. And our Miss Amanda Hurd, the assistant director, she is probably gonna be out on maternity leave. So we're also putting on our radar the Giving Tree and that process, so that will work for the Christmas holiday. So that's.
Wow,
Did I bore you guys with that?
oh my gosh.
Is Miss Hurd out already?
Not yet.
No.
No, she's due in 7 weeks though.
Great, thank you, Karen.
Yeah, thank you.
Item 5.5, attendance and behavior. Amanda is not here.
You guys have any questions for me though?
No, I think those are, I love the Halloween costume exchange.
Super exciting. Oh, we have a dance, Halloween dance coming up.
The middle school.
Yeah, for middle school on the October 25th too.
Exciting.
Do you need a sound system for that?
I know that Michelle got the DJ down in, so maybe that comes with it. No, I can
Probably.
roll it. Thanks, Ryan.
Yes.
Let me share my screen.
Okay.
You DJ on the side?
No, but I own a sound system.
He just has equipment.
Yeah. They can use it. I'm not coming.
You're so nice of you.
They have historically always figured it out elsewhere, but
Nice to have a DJ, I'm sure, like,
it sucks just having a playlist.
Yeah.
And I think they found a DJ that really enjoyed it.
They loved the CJ from
Yeah.
last year, yeah.
What? Share my screen. If I can share my screen, I can at least talk about this. Find her.
I was able to share, I think it's on all participants, it's not like.
That's you.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, so it's not, okay. There it is. Ta-da! So as Maggie sees if she can find the report from Amanda, I thought I would share this with you. Yeah, you can see it. So we had our meeting, Amanda and I had our meeting with the differentiated assistance team from BCOE yesterday. And I just shared this with staff also. So this is where we are on chronic attendance. So the green is the 22-23. The gray, or is it?
Can you zoom in a
Andy,
little
can
bit?
you pop it up a little bit,
I
make it a
can
little bit
try.
bigger? Is that a
Let's see.
possibility?
Let's see, we'll have Susan zoom in. Up there, yeah.
There's
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
I can't do that here. Okay. So actually, let's see if I can remember this. So if you look at this, you can see, the green is this year actually, or is the 23-24 school year. The gray, which is a little longer and a little bigger, is the year before. So our chronic attendance rates have decreased with all our measurable populations this year. So that's a big improvement, and I complained a little bit because we're still over the 29%, which is where we were pre-COVID. We haven't come down below that. And the BCOE, Sherry County, who's from BCOE, said, well, nobody else. So
So this is a comparison,
from
school year to
22-23
date.
to 20, this is, it's a comparison between the last 2 years. So 22-23 and 23-24. So we went down, so when
I
our
see,
dashboard
I see,
shows
okay.
up in November,
Sorry.
December this year, we will be in yellow or orange for our chronic attendance, which is really good. So we're really happy with that. As I said, we still have work to do. We're not gonna drop all the fun that we're having to promote attendance or the work we're doing with individual families on chronic absenteeism, but we are improving significantly.
Good.
So we'll have yellows and I think students with disabilities will be in the orange, the others will likely be in the red, and the yellow, so that's
Okay.
good.
Good.
Of course, the goals are greens and blues, but it's definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
Last year.
This is for this year so far.
This is for last year compared to the year before. We don't have the data, so this is, we don't have it for this year so far. And it wouldn't be, we can't, it's hard to measure chronic attendance in September.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
well, that's-
something that's further along in the year, so we're working on it, talking to families, giving them the support they need to attend, all of that, but overall, it's an improvement. Then we get to the suspension rates, that's the next one.
Sorry.
And not so good a report. We increased our suspension rates in all areas last year.
All areas.
All areas last year. Even that wonderful 2 went from 0 to 3%.
What is
So
2?
Yeah, what does 2 plus mean?
2 is more than one
Student
identity,
school.
like Hispanic and
Oh, got it,
indigenous,
Oh.
that sort of thing. White and Hispanic, those kinds of things.
Where does it say that? Oh, on the bottom.
At the very bottom one, so. Yeah, so we didn't do so well with suspensions. Then I had not quite seen it as this significant. So I knew we were still struggling with students with disabilities, but I was surprised the others went up so much. So the big one that'll show up on the dashboard is all students, and that went from 4 to 4.9.
SWD.
Yes, students with disabilities is the first one.
And the student with disability is like they have an IEP, or
Yeah.
is that really the,
Specialized.
there's not anything else,
No.
just that?
It's a 504 too?
No, 504s are not counted.
Okay.
The students,
Okay.
just the special education students.
How do you interpret this slide? Is this telling a story about student behavior, or is it telling a story about a change in policy?
So the first thing I would want to tell you is the same student can be in multiple areas. So a student with disability can also be Hispanic, can also be SED, which is the low income.
So they could be double counted?
They can be as a whole, yeah. because so somebody can be in all of the students is everybody, and then Hispanic students are included in all students. Students with social economic issues can be, so you can easily have a student in 3 categories in this.
What's the point of the 2+ column? Isn't that meant to account?
Because we account for students that it's one of our groups, we account for students that have more than one race or more than one identity that way.
Okay.
So we do. You asked me the question is how I interpret this?
Or does BCOE interpret it? Or, I mean, like,
No,
what story does this
it's
tell?
the same thing as the finances. They're gonna say, what do you think? Yeah.
Oh.
So, I think it's our struggle with coming to grips with how to handle social SEL, social emotional learning.
Mhm.
I think that's a piece of it. I think we have always struggled at the school with students with disabilities. So, my look is like at this sort of thing, and we've always struggled with suspensions. I think I've said before, when I got here in 2017, they had an 8.5% suspension rate.
Mhm.
So we're generally better than we were in 2000, considered better. I think to some extent we have an issue of thinking that suspensions are a solution and they're not. It's a timeout. It gives the classroom a space or the school a space to go, okay, what can we do for this student? But it's not a solution. So I think that there are things that have been in place in the past that we're working on re-upping, like when a student gets suspended, how do you deal with them coming back so they don't end up being suspended again? And how do you relate to them and make sure we're looking at the environment that we're serving, presenting, and how do we need to look at that better? I think we struggle with the restorative practices piece. So the SEL and the restorative practices piece have really been difficult for our school, I believe, because we're a Waldorf school. And so the Waldorf school is designed around trauma. And so a lot of times we think we've got this, but the issues of the environment of the world have changed significantly over the past 5 years. And so that need to be more explicit, and then rather than expecting children to learn by example, we really need to be more specific and direct with them. So I think that's a change. Those are the things that I see when we talk about continuous improvement. Those are the things I see we need to do. So, and then just really strengthening the community. We have a number of teachers who have talked significantly about how healthy play is helping build the community with the school and build empathy. Because a lot of times it's empathy that's missing, the understanding that when you do something mean to someone else, it hurts them and that hurts you, that whole sense of empathy. So real focus on that.
The compassion and reflection.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a huge difference, not in all cases, but in parents' reaction to discipline of their children. I think in a world that's kind of scary for people, there are parents who are defensive of their children, and that's very different than it used to be, where the parent extended any school discipline into the home. And a lot of parents feel protective of their child when anybody disciplines them.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was expected that whatever discipline you got at home, like your teacher would carry it out also, like help, it was such a different time. We were talking about this today. I just wanted to add this to you guys. The chronic absenteeism is not just Blue Oak, like it's all over. I'm sure you are aware, but today when I was in my training in Reading, it was the Northern Region RTAC, which stands for Regional Technical Assistance Center. It was held at Shasta County Office Bed today, and we discussed chronic absenteeism, what are schools doing, what are coordinators, how are they assisting the community schools initiative with handling such issues as chronic suspension or behaviors. And that's part of the brainstorming that's happening right now in California as a collective is these are different times. And it seems like students, whether the parents are lost at home in the fire and they're trying to learn how to revamp their life without being so dependent on the resources from the government or whatever it is, even getting their student, like the parents, I'm seeing a pattern, just so you know, and what was discussed today, we're seeing patterns where parents just going to school isn't being pushed from in homes. Like it's like, well, we just stay home now. There's students who are being enrolled because they have to in order to get their benefits, but then they don't. They go to school 1 or 2 days a week, and then they never see them again for the whole year. I mean, this is a real thing. So this is
Well,
a
and
problem.
parents have to feel both that their kids are safe at school and that the school is on the child's side. And when we see things like, even if no one's had direct experience with school shootings, there's that sense of wanting to gather. And I think it's significant that some people feel that if anybody's disciplining their child, and I'm using disciplining, not in the old way, but if anybody's, if they don't really want that to happen.
Well, like the families that lost their homes in Paradise. Well, then the park fire was hit this summer. I mean, a lot of parents I talk to, coordinators I talk to say the parents are just like, oh no, we're homeschooling. Like it revamped all of their fears. The soil we're on is no longer safe. Anything is possible. I just want we're gonna
Keep my kid close.
Yes, so that's a real thing. I say that with conviction because I see it in their eyes when they speak of it. I see it in the children when they come to school. They want to talk about what's going on at home, or they're just looking for that one safe adult that they can connect with. And a lot of times our school is it for them. So
you asked why the change from, I went back to the.
sorry.
So that's okay. Like Ryan asked why the change from last year, in the
What are
last
we
2
seeing?
years, what are you seeing? I think we had a significant number of highly traumatized kids here. I think we are a school where people come because of our practices when their children are traumatized. And I think the trauma built in some of the classes where if you have 4 kids that are really struggling, it's hard not to end up with suspending. And that's what I would say. I would say that our population last year was highly impacted by traumatized children.
And I don't mean to ruin a future slide that's coming, but do we know how this compares to other schools in the district or district average?
We don't know today. This is just the data we got.
Oh, that would be like public once it's in the dashboard.
Yeah, that will be in the dashboard when it comes up in November.
So we don't think it's because we were enforcing anything more last year than the year before. Like we were following the educator's handbook more, and like that's why we just think it was more. It was more behavior
stuff happening.
Yeah, last year, we were just getting into this big behavior problem with our middle school students. That was a huge blow up. That was emotional for staff and students.
And do these numbers, like if the same student was suspended twice, would they be counted twice in that? Or is this
No,
just
they're just counted once. Anyone
Okay, so
who is suspended one time.
15% is a fair number of
Yeah.
students with disabilities. I mean, that's a good chunk.
It is.
But that could be the same student repetitively throughout the year.
No,
No.
once, each
So
student is
15%
counted
of our students with disabilities were suspended.
suspended at least once.
Once.
At least once.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So it's
anything
good.
else?
Well, I don't know if we found Amanda's report, because she was gonna do some comparisons and other things as you have asked, but I'm not sure Amanda's able to find it, so we will have it available for you next year. And, next month, not next year. Next year.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll deal with that. Yeah, we'll just put that off. No, and what I want to say too is the differentiated assistants, their work is with their data, so they're the ones pulling this data for us, which makes it much more
much easier for us. They also gave us a list of, these are the students that were here last year and suspended and returned this year. So those sorts of information, which we kind of already know, but it's really nice to be able to go, okay, this is what we're looking at based on the numbers we had last year. These are the numbers that are starting with us that we need to make sure we have plans in place and things like that. Oh, great, okay. Good stuff.
Oh, you want to stop sharing, Susan, so
Yeah,
then
it's
now-
Oh, okay.
Zoom.
Can do that, I think. I think.
the green share screen.
Yeah, but I can't get even that up
Oh,
for some reason. Here we go, there it is. Nope, take
At the
it
top
down yet.
of your
Yeah. Stop sharing. It's a big red button. Here we go. Can you make it a little bit bigger because I can't read it.
share it,
Oh, yeah, it's that one.
all the stats.
So you can share it.
Ask you questions or make comments.
There it is.
Perfect, thank you.
And there where it's 100%, can you make it a little bigger?
Susan, I have a question. The point 3 that says first round of letters go out to families. Is there a way, or do you think it's important that those families' teachers are?
It should be available to you through Aries. We put them out
Oh.
through Aries, so.
Like something pops up
Yeah.
that says a letter went out? Oh,
Or there's a,
Like a red dot or a comment?
it's a comment.
Comments moving through.
If you need help with that, give Kelly Chandler or Amanda.
Is everybody ready to scroll down?
Ready.
Okay.
so,
We did deal today with 10 staff members out sick. So, Wow. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a big day. So I'm just, so our attendance, we have those kind of things probably can affect the school's attendance too. So
Is it COVID, flu?
it's COVID
Yeah.
and other things that don't have that name. So, and it's actually, I checked it last year too. We had 2 days in September that we were, really high illness. So
It's back to
it's
school.
the
Welcome
back
to the
school.
germs.
Yeah, it's the back to school. So this was what, roll back down, I want to brag about this a bit. So you asked about like comparison to last year. So that's the comparison that she's working on so far.
Higher this year than last year.
Higher this year than last year. Things seem to start with a bang with those students that came back with suspension.
What is student A and student B?
Yeah.
Or should I not be looking at those cells yet?
Student A and student B are two individuals that got these referrals. And then the 15
Yes.
referrals is just other individuals.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we've got
there
two.
are two
Two frequent
flyers.
flyers.
Yeah,
Oh.
those are, one got 10 and one got
As Donna is, West, no, listen.
Uh,
And then 15 others, is that what she's saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, school-wide,
Everybody else totals 15.
Yeah, and that gives you the 32 total for all of
Yeah.
this.
then she did the
And then by
TK to
grades.
second grade, third through fifth,
So middle
and
school's
sixth
more.
that you asked for.
I really like how this is compiled. How's everybody else feeling about it?
I like it. It's easy to read and understand.
Is the intent, I'm a little confused by the format of it. Is the intent that at some point, like the August 2023 cell would be filled in for TK to second, third, like, shouldn't those three boxes have things in them?
So I asked her for this on Friday afternoon,
Oh,
and she got it to me, to Maggie by Friday afternoon, so
Okay, so, but the intent is all of the cells would get filled in.
I hope
So
so.
we have a comparison
But I
from
also
year to year.
want to caveat whether or not that's available for her to do. We haven't had that discussion
Oh,
yet.
yeah, gotcha.
More work for somebody.
But I mean, this, I don't know, I mean, I guess you could use it, but really the information on the top cells is the same number, it's just broken down below.
I think our main question from, I guess, we've hung a lantern on it from a
Yeah.
year ago.
Yeah.
Is, are the 6th to 8th graders
Yes. By
outperforming
the grade.
everybody else?
Yeah. And to know last year if 23 broke down the same way
Would answer.
as, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this is the data that we've been working on getting
Sure.
to you, so there, because all of it you'll find
Classroom.
as you go through, like the 36% is happening in classrooms, that's surprising to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
I am, I hear more about the play yard stuff, but, so it's interesting that that this is not about specialties and play yard, there's a big need in the classrooms too.
But it's also that transition coming back from a specialty or the play or the yard into the classroom.
Yeah,
I've
that's what I
heard
heard.
has,
And this can also be we'll think about what we're gonna do on a monthly basis, but this can also be that training time. This is the first 2 weeks of school, so kids are learning what the rules are again. So
Yeah.
it could be some of that that's going on too.
I do want to come back, sorry, Vicki, I want to come back to that thing though, having dealt with a group of kids where there were, serious fights and things, the environment. And it was a divide and conquer strategy and it worked very well. There were rakes, some kids like to rake piles of leaves and dump them. There were bucket drums, there were pieces of wood that they could build things. They had free access to the garden with minimal supervision. But anyway, there was a boombox with Disney tunes and kids gathered around singing. And then a teacher
Tells
would open
everybody how
her.
long ago it was.
Pardon?
No boombox.
And then there was a teacher who would open her classroom and put on a video and the kids would dance. And we went from just a constant drama to really zero problems on the during recesses. Yeah. So that divide and conquer strategy, and we continued to use it and we found it really effective, there's just a lot to do and kids were
keep them busy.
So.
Yeah. And sometimes not.
Will we see this report every month now?
That's the intent.
Great.
Now I do warn you.
Yeah.
Going on
She's
maternity
going
leave.
on maternity.
Oh, that's right.
So-
Okay.
so-
No.
So, I guess that, who's
I mean-
stepping in to handle the stuff she's handling during that time?
I have a variety of people. that are-
I'm gonna divide it up.
I'm gonna divide it up. I want to make sure we're preserving the resources.
Yeah.
So I'm not, so, yeah, we're working on dividing it up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And
Is
Thank
there,
you.
is that the end of the report,
Is it?
Maggie, or there's
Um,
there?
Maybe we continue meetings weekly to discuss the student interventions that are in place.
in some ways more about the teacher.
I have heard a lot of positive feedback about the healthy play.
Good.
So,
From the kids?
from the teachers.
Teachers.
Yeah. So. And the kids seem to like the games that they were taught, so.
All right. Thank you for that report, that attendance and behavior from Amanda, who we won't see for a few months. And admin, executive directors of report.
Do you have my report? No, okay. All right, let's see. I sent it Sunday. Close myself out of Zoom, makes the life is done. Let me review classroom teaching with children. Middle school and high school. I like those ages. I like the middle schools. Not everybody does. I enjoy teaching. Especially. I love second grade. Just think that I was a daycare director in Canada. It was a good place to cut my teeth. Oh, excuse me, back in, then I can share my screen. I'm learning. I mean, it's a big one of it. My hands on hospice and finding the social work and kind of being able to kind of releasing the big picture and stuff. It's not a really emotional thing for me. My dad's almost 100 too, so it's not. She was trying to rage. Yeah. Yeah. My dad is the same, but he's amazing. It doesn't, yeah. Lives on, he's got such a great attitude. It's doing something weird. I think this is the same too.
Something's happening.
We
can see your desktop.
Okay, that's good. Twice a year. Just have to find. Oh, nice. Yeah, there it is. Yay, okay. We'll certainly miss him, but I know he's tired. All right. So, our little friend, because weather's supposed to be changing, though it's not so much.
We got a couple days of fall.
We got a couple days of fall, it's supposed to warm back up, and it'll cool off again by the end of the month. So the biggest thing this month for me was attending all the class meetings, working with the teachers, and talking about Title I and parent involvement. That we're beginning with our first big field trip, which was this not the Science Museum, that's the train museum, yeah, railroad museum. And then scheduling 2 of the classes are going to the local flax farm, which I think is with Claire, which I think is a really special one.
Where are they going?
The flax farm. We have a flax farm.
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
So I go there and learn how to harvest flax and make it into clothing, which I think is pretty exciting.
That's pretty cool.
So, and of course, that's a big connection for Claire, so she helps us with that.
Then we started the extended learning club, so kids, of course, can come at 7:15. And then the after-school clubs began. They are totally full and being loved and enjoyed.
Great.
We're great. That's been such a.
How is it going without having card on site? Is there any families that's impacted that you know?
I know of one family that it impacted. And I think we've worked on getting them into cards somewhere else, so, yeah.
She was saying, actually, she was able to rearrange her work schedule.
Oh, that's right,
Okay.
that one was,
Good.
yeah, because we offer the 9-hour days now, so
Okay.
that worked. Staffing, no report from last time, we're fully staffed and moving forward if they all come. So we had our Williams monitoring, as you're aware, because of our test scores, we're on a list of those schools that go through a lottery for Williams Act, and once you're in it, you do it for 3 years. So Butte County Office of Education came with their 2 reps, looked at the building, looked at our materials, and we're like, in and out of here in 15 minutes. Like, you're fine.
Is this
So,
not, have we done it for 3 years? I feel like we've done it.
I think this is the 3rd year.
Oh.
Yeah.
They didn't mind that someone was crying in the corner in my room.
Nobody even mentioned it.
They
They were just all about how lovely the room was. They didn't even mention the child crying in the corner. Maybe these are educators, they know the kindergartners cried.
It's an important act. I mean, it's kind of like ho-hum every year, but I mean, it prevents things like students of color being given discarded textbooks and, you know, I mean, I always think it's kind of, you kind of just, but it's, to me, the basis.
So that's where it came. I thought it was like just safety in general, but.
No,
I
it's
mean,
about having the fact that the district, I believe it was in LA, had nice schools over here and dilapidated schools over here and nice
Got it.
textbooks here and
Okay.
dilapidated,
Okay.
old textbooks.
Broken lab
over there.
equiment here. And,
Yeah,
I mean,
all
just
of that.
really
So there was a
Horribly,
lawsuit and all that.
shame.
That's where it comes from.
Okay.
To make sure that all students in all schools have
Equal resources.
equal resources.
And yet it still isn't as equitable as it should be.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure. All goes off that enrollment ADA.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, that's a big political, I could talk about that for a long time, so I'm not going to. Anyway, so we had, as Karen mentioned, the Waldorf training, Catherine Lehman, who comes up, she was part of the first public Waldorf school in Sacramento, so she shares her ideas, so, and she's also into dance, is one of the things. So she's, we kind of came up with, we seem to be talking a lot about movement this year. We have the healthy play, and so then I had Catherine come up and talk about math and movement, both with the staff and an all-staff meeting, and then with parents, and it's, it's a good, in Waldorf, we have the ELA, English language, which really focuses on the visual arts. And then math is really about movement for them. And it's like, we don't really talk a lot about Waldorf anymore, and I think we need to talk about it more, and how that all connects with the children with the learning. And so we did some practicing. I love the star that they walked. I mean, it, and again, staff had a good time with it too. So I'm just continuing to put those dates out for the festivals, so everybody knows what's going on.
And someone said there's no date for the Walk in the Winter yet.
Not yet, no. We talked about it at the parent council meeting, and I explained that how the faculty had expressed, what they'd expressed to me about Sundays, that it's hard for the faculty to be available on a Sunday because that's kind of their get ready for Monday day, and so they were reconsidering what they're going to do.
The spring concert is not the day before the pentathlon again, right? Did we look at that?
I'm not sure we have the date of the pentathlon.
We do,
We do?
and I will share that with you.
Yes, please do.
Because that was really hard last year.
Yeah.
So there's a good group that will go down the night before.
Yeah, and it's fun, I understand.
Yeah.
So let me know, and I'm sure that we can change the spring concert
I know.
if we need to.
The pentathlon is the same every year. What I learned last year, it is like the third, on a Thursday or Friday.
It's Friday.
On Friday.
I think it's like the third Friday of every May.
So
Like
that's
it's
May 16th.
consistent, which is May. Yeah. So I will verify in my notes that that's what it is, which would be the day after this.
Okay, so
So-
we may want to make some changes on that, but these are
And
the
Kate,
dates right
Kate
now.
does have the date already as well.
Okay,
Yeah, so.
yes. Right there, she's not sure with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Then math pilot, we have implemented last year with discussions and with the first through fifth grade teachers, there was concern about the Bridges math curriculum. That it wasn't a good fit for a student, for a school that loops. There's just too much, a huge amount of project planning and prep. And so if we didn't loop and the teacher did it the same way every year, it would be one thing, but it's a lot. So we put up a committee and teachers, a parent administrator. And so they looked at it, and there's a curriculum that goes along with our already instruction that they really liked. And so we've had so we're piloting it. That means that if we like it, you will approve it for next year. And then an in-service was held this month, so we've begun implementing that in hopes that it's more manageable for teachers. And when it's more manageable, then it's more likely to actually be used. So, so that was that. And then my projects, we're in the final weeks of the audit. We did a technology audit and set up processes for the laptops. We now have enough for every classroom to have some, and we were able to get a donation, as you saw earlier on the agenda, from CORE, because they had some of the carts that they were wanting to get rid of, so we glommed onto those, and so that work was done. I am doing classroom observations. I'm in classrooms for a few hours every Tuesday. So that's been fun, I think, for all of us. I got to watch fourth grade do healthy play. I got to watch fifth grade do math. I saw sixth and eighth grade do their SEL programs. Did some checking on the playground and stuff today, so that's nice. Let's see. Then the regular IEPs, check-ins, which I have a series of meetings, lots of meetings. Yesterday was pretty heavy. The tours I do, the staffing, increased meetings with Charter Impact, because we're dealing with the budget questions that we all have, planning for Amanda's pregnancy leave, and leading now, I'm continuing to attend the SELPA visited from Sacramento or El Dorado, so we've had that. We've started the CEI work and the continued work on DEI. Transitional kindergarten is taking a little bit of my attention. The reality that we now have children that are 4 starting in August, and they're still 4 in June. It's not really transitional anymore. It used to be here, we're gonna give 3 more months to start in September. You have a few more months. The kids can come to kindergarten. Now it's really like a whole different program. And next year we'll have, in the beginning of the year at least, for the first month, we'll have 3-year-olds. So really finding ourselves really how this is, and how that's going to adjust. So we're really looking at it. We do have some grant money, so we're going to work on having some other Waldorf types come in and really talk about what we can do for those lower grade
Those
kids.
little ones.
Yeah, they're little and their needs are higher. And again, this is, it's an issue for every single school. We probably are better prepared for it than most schools because our kindergarten program is play-based.
Yeah.
But other people who have only done a traditional kindergarten before are probably a little bit in shock, so.
Is the ultimate goal to have more of like a transitional kindergarten? Like, and then have them more separate by age and move them up, like if we had a third kindergarten or no?
Well, we're pretty close to that this year. So Cheryl has all of the TK students and a few kindergarten students.
That
to
were just there
fill her.
so they won't
space.
stay in that class necessarily. Like traditionally, if you've been in Cheryl's class, you stay in there instead of moving to another one. So maybe changing that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
still figuring that out. That's part of it, but.
I have a Zoom meeting tomorrow.
Oh, good, okay, so we're moving forward. And then we're updating the web and working on getting the Acorn back going again. So those are my projects right now.
But it's not universal pre-K or anything like that?
It is universal pre-K,
Okay.
but it's universal pre-K.
I had some questions about web updates, actually. I was wondering could you provide any specifics about what you're updating on?
Mainly I'm going through, we've moved the web updates other than the board related stuff to Kelly Sexton.
Oh.
And so doing things like making sure the community calendar is locked, so we can look at the community calendar. And then I'm just going through and saying, this is something that needs to be updated. It's something. So at that point, we're just kind of doing some corrective stuff. That's where we are right now.
Thank you. I liked your addition to my projects. I like that little bit at the end.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You requested, yeah.
And moving to item 7, closed session. Thank you for coming, Karen.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having
thank
me.
you.
And you too, Cheryl.
Have a good night.
Hi. You guys graduating tonight? I'll see one of you tomorrow.
Not so bad.
Yeah, we've done way worse.
Yeah.
And Lois, we have meetings to go to.
And we are back, and we have nothing to report from closed session. And we are adjourning this meeting at 8:06. Way to go, guys. 8:06, and we'll see you next month at the 16th.
Yeah, it says October 15th.
15th, Tuesday, 15th.
So I won't be here then.
Do we need to reschedule because we can't have it? We don't have enough people for
We
anybody
don't
to
have
miss.
forum here. That's.
We gotta work
that's
on
I'm
okay.
gonna be on an airplane, so.
Yeah, that's okay. We just need to move it though. Because we all need to be here, right? Or can we have 2 community members?
We can have 2 community.
Oh, okay.
We can miss
But then
one.
nobody, so nobody
Just,
else.
we can't ever miss.
Oh, yeah, because that offsets the.
Yeah.
Is that a relief?
The
You're
parent.
a thing.
Right.
You're pretty
Two
good.
and two, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Okay,
thank you.
and that's a forum.
Yes, not that we don't value you.
I understand, but I like not being the person who makes or breaks whether
Yeah, yeah,
whether the meeting can happen. That's a lot of pressure.
yeah, I get it.